You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. This is Soap Dirt on YouTube, and I want to talk about this upcoming will of Victor Cassadine's and some spoilers about Spencer Cassadine spoiling for a fight. And I'm wondering if this will reading is going to turn everyone on their ears because someone very unlikely could inherit everything. Could it be little baby Ace Cassadine who gets the fortune from Victor? Let's dig into this and talk about it for just a minute. If you haven't already, reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our General Hospital casting news, updates, everything that you need to know about your favorite ABC soap opera. So I want to dig into this because the invitations for the will reading have been making their rounds this week, and we have not seen Esme Prince get one yet. That doesn't mean that she won't, or maybe she's not invited to the will reading because she wasn't intended to be part of the process. Remember, Victor had sent his henchmen to knock her out and steal Ace Cassadine because Victor was so disgusted at Nikolas Cassadine. He was disgusted with Spencer Cassadine, and he basically was ready to write them both off. And he was just going to raise baby Ace as the next generation of Cassadine in his not so tender, loving care. So this week we've seen a lot of the other Cassadines get invitations. And you know, there's more Cassadines than you tend to think about because they don't always use that name. For instance, Sam McCall and Alexis Davis. They are both Cassadines, and Alexis got an invite. Ava Jerome is a Cassadine of sorts, although I'm trying to remember if she and Nikolas, I think they finalized their divorce, and that's why she has hold of Windermere right now. And of course, she thinks her husband Nikolas is dead, but he is in a coma and being held by whoever that Mason and Austin, the ones that are controlling them. So we'll have to see which Gatlin Holt person has hold of Nikolas, but for right now, he's off the scene. He's not going to be inheriting anything. So the invitations have been going out. Anna Devane got one. And the big question, Spencer is invited, of course. No doubt he'll probably bring along Trina. So I'm really, really interested right now if Esme Prince is going to get an invitation, and maybe the courier who's been going around and dropping all these off, maybe he just hasn't gotten to her yet. And the reason I wonder that is because some of the other spoilers for next week. So obviously we have got Victor Cassadine's will reading, and that means he knew that there was a possibility that he was not going to survive what happened, and it seems that he made arrangements. The question is, when did he write this will? Because the timing of it is very, very important, because if baby Ace wasn't born yet, then maybe baby Ace is not going to be part of it. But then spoilers for next week, for Tuesday, May 23rd, official GH spoilers say that Spencer Cassadine is spoiling for a fight. So I am wondering if at the will reading he loses it, because Spencer has been very upset about his trust fund and different things. Remember, Nikolas had given Ava Jerome control over it as punishment for Spencer and Esme targeting her, stalking her, scaring the stew out of her. So we will definitely have to see if that's what the fight is about, because maybe Spencer is about to be out of luck. With his dad missing and then with Victor dead, who is it that controls the family fortune? That is a very big question, because it always goes to the eldest Cassadine. And of course, Valentine Cassadine is alive. Again, we're back to the question of when was this will written, because for a while, Victor Cassadine thought Valentine was dead. So unless Victor executed a new will aboard the Haunted Star, after the revelation that Valentine was alive, it seems like that Valentine might have been taken out of it. So it's all about the timing. What's really funny is the last will reading of a Cassadine Cassadine, I don't know if y'all remember, was Helena Cassadine several years ago, and she had given this hideous painting of her to, gosh, was it to Nikolas? To somebody. There was like all this stuff. They built up this big deal about her will, and people got very specific things, and then most of it came to absolute nothing. Like they had started writing a plot, and then they were just like, nah, and they just dropped it. Because I believe at Helena Cassadine's will reading, y'all check me on this in the comments, but didn't she give Alexis and Sam each a penny, and basically saying that was all they were worth because they weren't real Cassadines? If you don't remember this, Helena stabbed Alexis's mother to death. She was like a opera singer or something that Mikos had fallen for, and Helena wasn't going to have that. And she killed Alexis's mother. I'm thinking it happened like right in front of her. That's what I'm remembering from the history. But the bottom line is there is no Cassadine will reading that is not without drama, and Helena definitely delivered. And so it seems like Victor needs to top it. And of course, Helena and Victor are both Valentine's parents, but that hadn't even been written or retconned yet. And so when Helena's will was read, that wasn't even on anybody's plate because nobody knew she had this secret son. So the big question is the spoiler about Spencer Cassadine about the will, because he's furious that his little brother will be inheriting everything. Right now, Spencer is very determined to remain in his brother's life. He told Esme Prince on a recent General Hospital episode, no matter where she went, no matter what she did, no matter where she settled down, he would be right behind her because he is not going to have his baby brother in his life. So no matter where she goes, he'll be right there, not necessarily trying to take his brother, but to remain in his brother's life. He even told her, you buy a house, I buy the house next door. Well, that's all well and good because Spencer is used to having lots of assets and freedom and bottomless wealth. You know, he liked to mock the rest of the kids in Port Charles for being townies when he lived on a private island. But could it be that little Ace Cassadine walks out of this will reading as the big winner? And, you know, maybe Alexis and Sam will get another 2 pennies. That would be kind of funny. Valentine has shown interest in them, and he is very nice to them, and he and Alexis have a nice sibling bond. But actually, they're not siblings at all. Now they found out because he thought that he was, you know, Mikos's kid. So they're both related in as much as they are Cassadines, but they're not siblings. But he does like her, but, you know, other people in the family definitely don't consider them real Cassadines. Victor has never shown any interest in Sam or Alexis other as just, you know, sideline, you know, what he didn't consider real Cassadines. So the bottom line is, what has he invited all these people to do? The very fact that Anna Devane got an invitation tells me that he probably recently rewrote this will after, I mean, he shot her and then he thought she was dead and then she showed up on the ship. And when the will comes out, I think we're all going to have to question, when the heck did he write this? Did he write this before he shot her and before, you know, he knew they were back to, it's just all the timelines of all this Victor stuff are so convoluted. But it should be a lot of drama next week. A couple of more things to say about that. But if you haven't already, reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates. What do you think? Other than the fact that if Ace Cassadine had a pile of money, then that means Esme might have some from her son. What do you think about it? It could be, I mean, realistically, Victor had wanted to kill most of these people. So if his plan succeeded, they'd be dead. And so maybe he thought it wouldn't matter because then he'd be alive. So his machinations and plotting are still questionable. But I do wonder, because baby Ace is little, if he leaves that stack of cash to him, then does that mean that Valentine and Spencer will be cut off from the family funds and will both have to work for a living? And if the money does all go to baby Ace Cassadine, then who is the executor? Who's going to be the person in charge of distributing the funds to that baby? You know, Victor might trust Laura to do it. That's the only person I can think of, only because he knows that she is painfully ethical at this point in her life. So what do you think? Who do you want to get the money? And do you think Spencer is going to blow a gasket if baby Ace gets the whole Cassadine pile?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast. because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.